to the dead. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. We'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of both. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come down to the den. It's Saturday in Coldblow Lane, we've all come down to cheer. We've had our jelly deals and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine all the time.
When 20-year-old John Shepherd scored 4 goals on his debut for Millwall in October 1952, he not only equalled the national goal-scoring record for an away Football League debut, he also launched a successful professional football career that saw him go on to score prolifically for Millwall, Brighton and Gillingham. What makes his story remarkable is that at the age of 18, whilst undertaking his national service in the RAF, he was struck down with polio, and it was feared that he might never walk again. John grew up in the slums of North Kensington in London W10. He was born in Salvam Street on the 29th of May 1932, a street that was immortalised by young London photographer Roger Main, whose collection of street photographs have become a valuable piece of social history. Despite its decay in Victorian terraced houses, Salvam Street was a street full of life and vitality, a down-to-earth community who looked out for each other, a community marked by deprivation, but with an enduring optimism.
I was one of 10 children. I had 8 sisters and 1 brother. All lovely people. And they used to look after me because I was one of the youngest, not the youngest, because Johnny was the youngest. It's the main thing I can remember about living in London. Living in Southern Street, to be specific. There's all the kids playing in the street. And Southern Street at that time was a no-go place for cars. No cars were allowed to go through the street. So all the kids used to play on their bikes and run around and play touch and things like that. We didn't have nothing in Salvam Street, as I say. We didn't miss it because we never had it. No electricity. We used to have gas mantles we used to put in. And no hot water, or just cold water if you have a bath. No bathroom. We used to have a big tin bath to have a bath with. Granddad was always first in the bath, and my dad. And anybody else was just jump in the same water as him because couldn't afford to keep eating it up. But they was good days. As I said, we didn't have a lot, we didn't need a lot, because we had everything we needed in the street. We used to play lots of football, obviously, and that's how I learned my trade, I suppose. Play football with a rubber old ball. And used to have to pack up when the law came along. The old Bill used to come on and pack that up, boys. He used to pack up the football, and then when he went out the street, he used to play again. We didn't have a proper football because we couldn't afford a proper football. So we used to get any old thing and wrap it together and tape it up as best we could and play with that, didn't it? Mum and Dad always worked hard for us. And night and day I think Mum and Dad worked. But I was always a bit short of money. So occasionally, well, very occasionally, he used to say, I need to pawn this. So I used to watch me football boots because they were nice and clean. You might have got a few on my nose. I used to go round to Granny Gilmore, who lived in Edenman Street, which was round the corner. And she used to come into the pawn shop with me because she wasn't allowed to go in unless she was 18. And say, oh, I've got this for Mrs. Shepherd. Okay. Take the gear back, and Mum used to give Granny Gilmore 6pence or something like that, which is a lot of money in those days. But she was too proud to do it herself, so she got Granny Gilmore to do it.
In September 1939, when John was 7 years old, Britain declared war on Germany.
I remember the day that, not the day war broke out, but the day that the first air raid ever was, the proper air raid. I was out helping the ice cream man and a couple of bob extra, and the sirens went, that's nothing. but it was the start of the air race of London. So I had to dash back. I got told off for being late and not being out while the air race were on. When there's air race and things, come on quick, get in the rail. Air race shelter, which we used to have downstairs in the basement, which was reinforced with big iron bars and all sorts. And in our backyard, you couldn't call it a garden, it was a backyard. Trains used to go by with their guns on the trains and shoot at the planes when there's air raid and everything. Made a bloody large noise into the shelter, but we felt safe in them because they was all really done up and, as I say, reinforced with big iron bars, big shelter, and you could go right along the street with these used to lift up like big iron shutters, I suppose. Everyone else had these. You go right through the street if everybody opened their things, which they should do during the air raid. So we used to live down there, well, a lot of the time really, because the air raids were quite frequent. And then after that, there were so many raids in London that they evacuated a lot of the kids. And I was evacuated to Wales, where with two lovely people, big mansion, beautiful place, my own football pitch, and Dr. and Mrs. Jenkins were lovely people. And they wanted to adopt me in the end, I don't know why, but they did.
It was John's evacuation foster parents who gave him his first ever proper football. In the summer of 1943, John returned home to London. He hadn't seen his father for almost 3 years and decided to go meet him from his work at the Sunbeam Talbot factory in nearby Barby Road.
Once I got home, I thought, where's Dad? And they said, oh, he's at work. I said, I'll go down and meet him. So I got all the way down Barby Road, which was near Wormwood Scrubs, way down somewhere, and I missed him. Oh, sugar. I missed Dad. So I went over and he was there having his tea. Where you been, you silly old son? I went, I meet you, Dad. Right, my first football, I just started in the street playing in Southwark Street. We used to have a club round the corner called the Seven Feathers. That's where I met your mum, by the way. And they had a football team, so we played for them. I was about 12, 13, I suppose, I don't know how old I was. And we had a good little team. We won a couple of cups, I think. And for our progress from them to a men's Sunday side called Kensal House, there was all men playing then. I done well for them. I seemed to do well, scoring goals and things. And there was a right old died player over at Wormwood Scrub. He used to carry a big heavy post over. An old trough to have a wash afterwards. Freezing cold it was, muddy and everything. Right at the back of the scrub we used to play, where the prison was. There was a prison, Wormwood Scrub's prison. We used to play over near there. We got a couple of prisoners to play 1 week, I think. They absconded at half time.
In 1950, at the age of 18, John was called up to do his national service.
18, I got forms to go into the forces. It's compulsory in those days. Everybody had to go in who were fit and well for at least 2 years. So I chose to go into the RAF, but you had to have an exam before they took you into the RAF. It was a bit boshy, I suppose. It's exactly this type like myself. So I had to take this exam and I passed to go in the RAF.
After boot camp, he was posted to RAF Sennen down near Land's End, and not long afterwards he received a letter out of the blue from Millwall's manager Charlie Hewitt, inviting him to go to Millwall for a trial. The letter came about because of a recommendation from someone who had never seen him play.
Our insurance bloke, Mr. Pye, recommended me to Millwall. He'd never seen me play at all. He said, I've got players for you. He said, he can kick the ball harder than Frank Neary. Now Frank Neary was one of the best players in the league. He had a ball like a rocket. And he'd never seen me play. Anyway, I got a letter from Millwall to go down and sign on. I went down there with my boots in my bag, boots, by the way, were knocking studs. Like you have to knock them in to hold on. Little nail, unless the nails come through, it's a bit dodgy, so you have to be careful that. Because then the referee didn't hardly look at the boots. Well, then I went to Millwall for a trial, and they signed me on amateur forms. Charlie Hewitt signed me on amateur forms. Anyway.
After signing amateur forms for Millwall, Charlie Hewitt wrote to John telling him that he was arranging for him to be transferred to an RAF camp nearer to London so John could train and play matches for the club. But before this could happen, tragedy struck.
One day, when I was in the RAF, we went, a few couple of mates of mine, we was on pickets. We had to parade round the camp, actually, because it was a radar camp. We used to parade around the radar, had 2 hours in the picket up and 2 hours walking around. One day we thought we were a bit skint, so we done potato picking. There was 3 of us. 3 of us went potato picking, the other one stayed in the picket line just to be somebody there. When I got back, I couldn't move my foot. Oh shit, what's that? Sorry about that, cut that. Anyway, the next day, I reported sick. And the sick bloke used to come and saw me. Oh, I don't know, better go and see the doctor. We had to go to the doctor in the village. It's about a mile away. We had to bloody walk. Sorry about that. So we walked to the village and he said, I think you got infantile paralysis. And I said, what's that? It's called polio. Oh, I said, that's that good or bad? He said, well, it's not good. So I walked back again to the camp and into the hut, the billet hut. There was about 20 of us in the billet hut. And they were told that I've got polio and it's very infectious, which it was. I said, they got a cup of tea. They all rushed away from the hut and brought a cup of tea and left it at the door. You have to come and bloody get it, we're not giving it to you.
Polio was one of the most dreaded diseases of the first half of the 20th century and crippled thousands of children and young adults. At the age of 18, John found himself in an isolation ward in Truro Hospital. Doctors feared he wouldn't walk again, and contact with Millwall had been lost.
After a while I got taken to Truro Hospital. I was in isolation for a couple of weeks, then sent back again. In the meanwhile, Millwall tried to get hold of me to continue the association for the game. Charlie, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be playing for Millwall. I would have played. Because he persevered and searched me out when I got polio in the RAF. And they lost contact and he had to find where I was, and he did.
Against all odds, John made a full recovery, and in November 1951, Charlie Hewitt arranged for him to be transferred to RAF Medmenham in Buckinghamshire, where he was selected to play for the RAF and was able to play regularly for Millwall's youth team and progressed through the ranks.
For that, and he got me posted near to London, on the first place. And I progressed from there, really. So I was playing quite regular, and then I got picked to play for the reserves and played for those. The first game in the reserves, I got that trick. Coming out of the RAF, I think, October, the end of September. In October, there's something I was signed pro and played in the first team. And that's the end of the story.
It's not, cut there. Okay. John's first contract was for £7 a week, plus another £2 when he was playing in the first team. The maximum permitted wage for a professional footballer at that time was £14. 2 weeks after signing professional forms, John was rather concerned when he was called in to the manager's office.
I remember training at Millwall one morning. I think it was on the Monday. And then someone said, Mr. Hewitt wants to see you. Bloody hell, I thought, what's done wrong here? And so he said, I'll play you Saturday in the first team. Oh, thank you very much. At Leighton Orient. I want you to meet, blah, blah, give me all the times and everything. All the time we had to go and have a pre-lunch meal, pre-match meal. And played at the Orient. I was lucky enough to get 4 goals. First one I think was Stan Morgan took a corner. I caught it first time with left foot and it went in. Second one, Georgie Stubbart pushed me through and I scored. Third one, Frank Neary took a corner. I headed it and scored. Forget the other, I think Tripleton sent me through and scored the 4th one. And of course there's all people talking about it after the game. I thought, bloody hell, what's happened? Anyway, going home, I used to get the train from New Cross Gate to Whitechapel to Westbourne Park, and walk down from Westbourne Park through Southampton Street. And I walked through Southampton Street, everyone's on the doorstep clapping, well done, Joe, well done, well done. And I saw my mum. She said, how'd you get on? So we won. I saw 4-0. She scored. You got the 4. And she said, what picture we can see tonight? Oh, well, that's good, isn't it? She scored 1 bloody goal. She was like, what picture we going to see? Anyway, I think after that we had the papers round and Nanny, Granddad Shep were there. And of course it was all in the paper and everything. Oh dear me. Got a photo of Nanny with the news of the world.
John's first team debut on 25th of October 1952 was hailed by Harry Ditton in the News of the World as one of the most remarkable stories of modern football.
And my Julie keeps all the programmes in it. She nicked them from me. She keeps all the programmes. And on that particular programme she got for me, I wasn't on the programme because I wasn't down to be picked. She only decided the week before, the Monday before the game, that I was going to play. In the programme, not even in the programme. I wrote it in quite quickly. Shepherd in centre forward, scored 4 goals. Well, that season we've done a good fair run in the cup, and we played at Barrow. I think we won 4-1. And we had the next round was against Manchester United. Oh, that's a big draw. So we had Manchester United going to the game, Ray Brandon. I was on the train going from Westbourne Park through to New Cross Gate, and it was packed. We had stood up all the bloody way. Wouldn't happen now, would it? All the way to the ground. The jostle and bustle. And from Westbourne Park through to Whitechapel, no one just bustled and bustled. No one said a word. But when we got on the train from Whitechapel to New Cross Gate, because they were all Millwall supporters, they started chatting and talking. Great it was. And then Manchester United, 0-0, ball comes out me on the spot, penalty spot, and I hit it and I bloody missed it. Just went past the post. Then they went on to got a lucky goal. I thought it was a lucky goal. We lost 1-0, I think, in the end.
It's Saturday in Coldblow Lane, we've all come down to cheer. We've had our jelly deals and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine, all the time our families will bring. And as the Lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come down to the den. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. We'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called.
We beat Newcastle 2-1 in the cup at the Den. It was a great game. Must have been 50-odd thousand there. All up the pylons, great atmosphere. So we won 2-1. Stan Anslow had been put up to centre forward with me. Scored both the goals. Great goals they were. We went on the next round to Birmingham at home. We lost 4-1. So we're out in the bloody cup. I got the 1 goal, lucky goal.
Millwall in the white shirts kick off against Birmingham at the Den, but the visitors are full of the spirit which took them to Wembley last year, and they mean to get there again if they can. They're soon pressing hard on the Millwall goal. And from McGovern centre, Noel Kinsey heads it home. Hazlitt leads a Millwall counter-attack, but Gilmerrick's there and dodges through to clear. Now it's Birmingham on the move again. Inside left, Murphy has it. He passes out to his winger, Alec Govan. Eddie Brown jumps, but it's wide. Undeterred, Birmingham sweep in again. And they're 2 up. That's how it stands at half-time, and Millwall are really in trouble. Birmingham start a neat passing movement upfield. And Noel Kinsey scores the 3rd. Soon after, there's a free kick for Millwall. It's headed on, but Gilmerrick holds it safely. Goalie Lloyd faces another Birmingham onslaught. Brown shoots, and there's number 4. No hope for Millwall now, but as a consolation prize, 1 attack comes off, and Shepherd hooks it in to save his team from a whitewashing.
And that was it, really. The old brought back days of playing in Southwood Street, in the street, and playing with 7 Feathers, Manford Kensal House. All those things come back to you. I remember the old den, lovely old ground, compact. You could hear the crowd call you whatever they wanted to call you. You know, when I first saw the ground, big lights and everything else, it was a great ground. Till you saw 1 or 2 other grounds, you think, oh, well, not that great. Dressing rooms are nice. Big, always got a nice hot shower or bath afterwards. Mainly a bath, it's all in one big bath, mainly. Charlie Hewitt was the manager then. I'd say I didn't agree with everything he done. But having said that, I wanted me playing for Millwall. There was a lot of good players around me, Charlie Early, Alex Jarno, George Fisher, Johnny Short, Ray Brand, all good players, Willie Hurrell, Johnny Hartburn, Frank Neary, all good players that help you get goals because they give you the ball when you want it. And you'll be able to score goals. Any idiot can score goals in that team, I thought. We used to have 2 great fullbacks in Fisher and Jardine. They used to get not good balls. They're not good long balls past the centre half. So I used to look on the shoulder of the centre half, break off, and I had a bit of pace in those days. Just get a few goals like that. I got picked for the FA 11 a couple of times. Got picked for the South versus North. It used to be 3rd Division North, 3rd Division South. I used to pick 7 representative sides from that. Enjoyed that thoroughly, but never had any luxury really when I played. The only luxury you got was tea and a cake if you played away from home. Nice. My wife Esther used to come every week and support me at home. She'd sit up in the director's box, which she liked. There was no facilities for them, no one there was for us. You know, you got a cup of tea at half time, that's their whack. And the travelling facilities were diabolical in comparison now they are today. They get the chauffeur-driven cars. And the time I got chauffeur-driven cars, that was wedding day.
In 1955, John announced his engagement to his Spanish girlfriend, Esther. Her father, José, had fought for the Republicans against Franco's nationalists in the Spanish Civil War, and at the end of the war had escaped from Spain over the Pyrenees into France. The family had eventually settled in London after the Second World War.
1955, I married my sweetheart wife, Esther, who who was from Madrid in Spain.
In early 1955, however, John was having a bad spell at Millwall and had been playing for the reserves who played midweek, so it seemed safe when John and Esther arranged their wedding at short notice to take place on Saturday the 26th of March 1955 at St Michael's Church in Ladbroke Grove. But John had been scoring lots of goals for the reserves whilst the players brought into the first team to replace him had lost form, and Charlie Hewitt chose John's wedding day to recall him to the first team.
When there wasn't a game when I booked the wedding, then he booked the date, so we had to bring the wedding early and dash off on a hired car which I paid for, my mum and dad paid for, to get to the game for the kick-off, which we won, I think. I didn't score, but we won, I think. And 2 years after that, and our lovely daughter Julie. Good days at Millwall. On a holiday. When we got back, we had a note to ring Billy Lane at Brighton, which I did, and he said, I want to sign you for Brighton. So we thumbed and hard a little bit, thought that'd be great for Julie. So we moved down to Brighton, and a nice flat buff Des Tennant, old Welsh friend. Wages in those days weren't great, nothing like they are today. They're still above the average working man's money. I think when I went from Millwall to Brighton, the wage was £16 and £4 extra when you played for the league side, which made it 20 quid a week, which is quite a big difference. But that wasn't the main reason I moved to Brighton. The main reason we moved to Brighton was Julie, with her bad lungs. Yeah. That was the only reason I left Millwall, really, to come to Brighton. But while I was at Brighton, we had a great time, great people, and in the end I'd only played a couple of seasons, I think, of football for Brighton, but then I helped do the youth team and the reserves and things like that, and I worked for them for about 20 years after that, I think, and we haven't regretted it for 1 minute because everything's gone great. Met some lovely people, played some good football at Brighton. Our first game was a lot different from my first game for Millwall. When Millwall got 4, for my first game for Brighton against Middlesbrough away, we lost 9-0. But I always say I always had more kicks than anybody else because I kept kicking off. Playing with some good players at Brighton as well. Dave Sexton, Dennis Foreman, great players. I enjoyed every minute of it.
John was top scorer in his first season at Brighton with 17 goals from 36 league matches. He still ranks in third place in their list of highest goals scored to matches played ratio. After a poor start to the season, Brighton recovered to finish in a respectable 12th place, one place above Middlesbrough, who had thrashed them in the opening game.
In those days, as I say, as you know, footballers didn't earn a great lot of money, although it was just above the average working wage, perhaps. So it was good all the same. But we had to get a job in the summer if you could. I wound up working with Des Tennant on the ambulances in the summer to earn a few extra shillings. And because Des Tennant knew the old superintendent of the hospital buses, ambulances, Alex Calder, and he got us the job actually. We worked there all the summer and a few bob, and it's good. That's how we done an association with Alex Calder as well as theirs. Played Gillingham in the cup at the Dem, FA Cup. And they had a goalie called Chick Brodie playing in goal. In those days you could barge the goalkeeper. They used to give you a whack as well. They got one fist for the ball, one fist for your face. So you're not allowed to get near them these days. They know you to look at them, but then you could. And there's a corner come, and Chick Brodie, as long as the goalkeeper's got his feet on the floor, you could barge him. They call this one, as he walked down to his chest, I hit him shoulder to shoulder. He was flying in the bloody goal. But those days, as I say, you can't even look at them now, but those days you could barge them, and they used to hate it, they did, the goalkeepers. This is when I played against them. Goal. And this Harry Barrett, Gillingham manager, very good goal, he said. That's the sort of goal I like to see. Gillingham then. He liked that sort of player. We got stuck in, so he comes out. I like your sort of player, he said. I'm going to sign you on for Gillingham. I went to Gillingham, I think I got a few bob for going. I only stayed there for a couple of seasons, but it was enjoyable, lovely people, not a bad football team, and a great manager. When I was at Gillingham, we played at Carlisle. We had a coach at Carlisle. And it's a long way, as you know, Carlisle. It's a long way to go, and it was wet and windy and horrible, snowy. Typical lovely day to go and play football. We got near to the ground, and we got to go up this hill, and the coach will move. So we all had to get out and push. See the professional players doing that now. Pushing the coach out of bloody hill. So that was a story worth telling, I thought. Another story where we played, we used to play over the weekend, we played 2 games. I think it was played at Doncaster. And we'd had a game the day before, and we were absolutely rubbish. And Pat Terry used to play up front with me, good player. He had a bump on his shoulders. They put this thick, sticky plaster across one shoulder and one shoulder. And Harry Barrett came he said, "Whoever made you a captain and whipped him off his bloody shoulder." That was funny. But, yeah, I enjoyed it at Gillingham. And I packed up from there, just went into non-league football. You can earn a few bob in Southern League and still have a job. So in fact, you can earn more money playing in Southern League and having a job than you could playing pro. So I've done that for a little while. And then I moved into county football, Sussex County Football. I managed Southwood Football Club, which we were very successful. I managed the Sussex senior side, which we were successful. And then I got a job. And here I am. Boom, boom. And I went into coaching with the youth team at Brighton and the youth team and the reserves. Enjoyed that. I was there about 20 years after that. So I had a longer time at Brighton, but more football at Millwall.
Together with his old Southwick colleague Mick Fogden, John founded the first ever Brighton and Hove Albion youth team and led them to success in the South East Counties Junior Cup, the first club outside London ever to win it. John worked under many different managers at Brighton, including Brian Clough, Peter Taylor, Alan Mullery, Jimmy Melia and Jimmy Case. He was very much involved when Brighton reached the FA Cup final in 1983.
Case with the corner. He's pulled it back to Grealish. Little touch for Stevens! 2-2! Gary Stevens equalises with 3 minutes to go. And Case through the middle for Michael Robinson. Can he beat Moran? He can. Can he beat McQueen? He can. There's somebody to his right. It's Smith. And Bailey is saved. What an amazing opportunity for Brighton to win the cup, and how sadly wasted.
Well, I was at Brighton were lucky enough, well not lucky enough, they were well enough to get to the FA Cup final at Wembley. The first game we drew, I think, we drew 2-2, wasn't it? They drew. So let's have a replay with Manchester United at Wembley again, I think it was. And at this time, Jimmy Mealy was the manager at the time. White boots and shoes on, whatever he used to wear. And he took Mick Fogden, who used to help me with the youth team and reserves, to the game, so we could sit on the bench. And so we sat on the bench, watched the games. Great. Right, the result wasn't great because we lost, but it was a great day out. And thanks to Jimmy Mealy, as I say, we was there, allowed to sit on the bench, watch the game. Unfortunately, as I say, they lost. And after that, Mick and I continued doing the youth team and the reserves, everything else, running all over the place. One incident with Jimmy Mealy, a little bit of a lad, a little toe rag really. And he said, Mick, I want to go and watch so-and-so. Get your expenses in. So Mick called it, done this job. Got expenses, he said, we go half each with his expenses, Mick. That's true. But Mick going to give him half of the expenses. But it's a good time at Brighton. Reading my Julie's book, In and Out the Lion's Den. Anyway. And yeah, if you haven't bought the book, it's a good book. It's all about the Spanish War as well. Those who are interested in history and things should get it, because it's not just about football. It's about people in the same plight as footballers, perhaps. Not earning a lot of money, you couldn't earn a lot of money in Spain, you couldn't earn a lot of money in football at that time. But nowadays it's a bit different where, I don't begrudge the players getting money, good luck to them. 20, 30,000, 100,000 a week. You should get about 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. A little bit different, but there you go, that's the way times go. Football's a lot better now in regard to skills and things, I think. Whereas the old days you get the ball up front as soon as possible and score goals. So which is more entertaining is up to the individual really.
Over the years, John has been a frequent guest at Millwall and Brighton, where he's still considered a legend.
Shoe shine boy, I work hard all day. Shoe shine boy, got no time for play. 'Cause every nickel helps a lot. So shine, shine, shoe shine boy. Now you find joy in the things you do. Shoe shine boy, you're seldom ever blue. You're content with what you got. So shine, shine, shoe shine boy.
16 years ago. If you were, then you will recognise the two gentlemen I'm about to introduce to you. They were teammates in the Millwall team, certainly between 1952 and 1958. One of them was a prolific striker who scored more than a goal every other game. The other was a defender who occasionally was switched to centre forward when Millwall were a bit started in 1957 when Newcastle were the force in English football. Stan Anslow played 147 games for Millwall, scoring 18 goals between 1951 and 1959. John Shepherd made 172 appearances for Millwall, scoring 82 goals between 1952 and 1958. It's a long time since they've been together. Would you please welcome Stan Anslow and John Shepherd?
Overall, I've had a very enjoying career in football. I look back and say I was a lucky bloke.
Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come down to the dead. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. We'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come down to the den. It's Saturday in Coldblow Lane, we've all come down to cheer. We've had our jelly deals and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine, all the time our families will bring. And as the Lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come down to the den. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. We'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come down to the den. It's Saturday in Coldblow Lane, we've all come down to cheer. We've had our jelly deals and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine, all the time our families will bring. And as the Lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. Let 'em all come down to the den. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come. We'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London.
So you could start this bit off by saying when I transferred to Brighton I was earning maximum footballer's wage of £20. It didn't matter how good you were, you couldn't earn more than that. When you could say it was a bit different to what they're earning
Was that
today.
transferred from what?
When you transferred down to Brighton,
You could get £20 then.
you were earning £20 a week.
I don't think so.
You were.
I think so, Jen. You read the book. It's more like £12 a week.
No, not at Brighton, Dad. Millwall maybe. But I think we've got a copy of your
How
contract.
much you want to bet, mate?
It was
£20.
It was 20 quid a week you were on them. That was,
Was it?
remember that was 1958, and eventually that maximum wage was abolished in 1961.
I think you're wrong, Drew.
No, I don't think so.
You went into the RAF, played in the RAF, played a lot of football.
Sorry, can we just pause this? I
Yeah.
can hear the
Oh,
footsteps and
okay.
stuff, and it's louder than Grandad.
Okay.
Just give it a minute. Okay, we should be
So
fine.
the trouble is, this picks up every little sound, and we can hear Mum
Okay.
upstairs stomping around.
Okay,
I'd say the stop work as well.
yeah, it's fine.
Alright, okay, we might just have to put up
Yeah.
with it. Yeah, picture of me.
Go in, Est.
Is she okay?
Yeah. You got your jumper inside out again, Est.
Julie, don't get something to eat now.
How do you make it 20 quid?
Well, you've got £16 a week plus £4 if you were playing in the league side.
Is that what it says there?
Yeah, and that was the maximum allowed, 20 quid. Yeah. It's all in your contract. Do you want to quit?
Football at Millwall. When I was was more involved at Brighton, if you know what I mean. And I've been here ever since. It's a great place to live. Lots of lovely people. Julie's fit as a fiddle. And Nathan is directing this film. He's doing his job. Anything else, sir? That's it. Right, sir.
Excellent.
Very good.
Thank you, Dad.